So, hi everyone, thank you for joining me. So, a disclaimer: this is not a research project, although put under the research and design. Research and design is more of like design, my side project. I'm talking about like mapping the Lyriscape of Hong Kong. So the background, this is my favorite like singer, Miriam Beyond. So back to last Thanksgiving, I just like put out of the garage on the Glenway Street, my home, and on Finland Road, this song was played from the car stereo. Is that okay? So not even a minute in, like the cross like came on and it mentioned Victoria Peak in Hong Kong. So and I thought, so like wait, like there are so many songs like this, like full of places. So what if I collect like all of them? And what if I could map the location mentioned in Cantonese lyrics? So that I'll make a static map. So I start collecting Cantonese lyrics just from my own playlist at first. And for each song, I noted down the lyrics, the place mentioned, and all the details like artist, album, year, and songwriters. And here is the first version. So there are like 31 lyrics in total in the first version of the map, and all the place-related lyrics are shown in white, placed right next to the location they mentioned on the map. And the original Chinese lyrics are in bright yellow, and I added English translation with the help of ChatGPT and showing in white, but like smaller. And song title and artist name are in light yellow to keep the visual balance. So the first version was mainly for in Chinese, so I shared it on the WeChat moments, and some of my friends comment that the map didn't include like their favorite song or like missing certain like places name they were hoping to see, and like encouraged me to add them. And I also received a lot of like emotional responses, like people say like the map remind me their time like in Hong Kong, or like they wish they are like also a Canon pop like lover, and like just humming lyrics while looking at the map immediately, or like they were like inspired to create a movie location of map of their own. So I also shared to my family chat, and my aunt just asked me, does like clicking the title play the music? So I said no at that time, but that prompted me to make an interactive map. So the process is, at one point, like I thought if there are like so many songs that mention places, like why don't I just go big? I would just do a large scale, all included like big project. And you can also like include like English songs, Spanish songs, Japanese songs that include like all the place mentioned the lyrics. But when I try like to make it happen over the summer, I hit a wall. So there were like major issues like copyright restrictions, missing lyrics, and incomplete database for Cantonese music. Even some of the like top Canton artists weren't in the open data set. So I had to pause and go back to where I started. So I still like manually collecting lyrics song by song. And through that process, I also found there's more songs referencing place beyond Hong Kong. So in the web map version, there are 167 lyrics in total as of today, and region includes Hong Kong, Japan, other regions in Asia, Europe, United States, or even Arctic or Antarctic. So this is the web map version. Feel free to scan the QR code to check it out, and we're working on like making it more like mobile adapted. It's up to right now, not fully finished, but yeah, I'm getting there. So the map is bilingual and start with Hong Kong by default. When you click on a music marker, the song and its associated location will pop up along with embedded YouTube links, so you can listen right away. You can also explore other regions I've mentioned, like filtered by artists or decades or release year. If you're not familiar with Canton Pop, that's like totally fine. You can just click the Surprise Me, and the map will take you to random song to explore. And if you like hit a song name of like artist or like this name here, and it will direct you to the library page where the song name will automatically enter into a search box. And in this page, you can search by any of the song information and jump back to map or direct to the YouTube to listen anytime. So once I curate this global scale data set only is not much data, I noticed a really interesting spatial pattern. So places are mentioned at very different geography level depending on their region. So in Hong Kong, lyrics often down to street level. So they're very specific, very local. But for North America or Europe, it's more it's common to see cities, countries, or like well-known landmarks, like the Empire State Building or like the Little Mermaid. And Japan was somehow very interesting, like sit in between. So about half the Japanese song reference were also on a street or neighborhood level, or like from less famous city. So I found this like kind of interesting. Like I think it reflects more than just language. It shows like cultural attitude toward places. So in fact, actually a lot of like a Hong Kong like Cantonese pop song coming from 80s or 90s were directly like based on Japanese compositions with Cantonese lyrics adapted from like Japanese originals. So in a way, like the way the Canton pop described the place is also a reflection of like how Japanese pop culture shaped Canton pop. So my takeaway from the second round is start from small. Like big code usually like don't always equals to better, as like over engineering a side project can disconnect you from the heart of your work. So like when I start the project, like I handpick every song, like all my favorite songs, and that first version feel like very of like a mind map because it came from like my memories. But like as I scaled up in the interactive one, like as I pull in more songs, I start noticing a shift. So there are more songs I didn't know than I know, and they're like a data for me, not only like my memories. So while like large scale data collection are powerful, like they can sometimes, I feel like they can sometimes like distance you from your own map. So I ask myself, like, do I want to explore the world like with this project, or do I want this map to say something about me? So right now I'm still collecting place reference songs, but I'm only focused on the Cantonese music. So I want expansion to other genres, and at least not for now. So my map was selected to represent the U.S. entry in International Cartographic Exhibition. So at the end of summer, I brought it to the ICC. So this is some pics and my lovely map. So what's your first reaction to see it? So like here's the thing. I stood up like at my map, and Anthony, like from Stanford, like he came by. So I introduced my map and I said, this is kind of like small. So as I want to show the lyrics, but it's really hard to see. So Anthony asked, will you make a big map for NACIS? And I said, yes, of course. So, and then I start my second round of make a better static map. So this is the final, so right now is the final version as of today. There's a lot of difference between the two versions. So what is the difference? The first is the printing size. So the first one I use like 1812 inches, and the revised version nearly like doubles the size. And some like takeaway I got. So if you're creating a text-rich printed map, 16 to 18 like text pixels font size, like keep map very like readable from a distance. Yeah. And then like this version was redesigned like for NACIS, so where the primary language is English. So I start with a clear visual hierarchy. So the map title is in white with a little pink, and making the most eye-catching elements, and all location-related components like street name, place markers, icons is also in white to directly like tie lyrics to geography. English lyrics are in like light blue, and Chinese lyrics are in deeper blue, so people will like first see the English lyrics rather than they see like both language. So in both versions, any place mentioned in the lyrics is like highlighted in places, so showing directly next to the like actual location on the map. So this way, like even with like two language on the map, very like text-rich information, the visual system helps viewers to quickly associate each lyrics with its real-world place on a map. So another reason you might find the second version getting like better is because I changed the color scheme. So on the first scheme, like everything seems to be like highlighted at the first versions, as I use both white and bright yellow. So they're like oversaturated and both eye-catching, so make your feel like eye like stressed. So on the second version, the white is now reversed for only like for place-related features as the highest feature hierarchy, while lyrics use like cooler, softer blue tones, and only orange is for the introduction. And this is the color code. So some tips in using darker theme. So so first, like when building the color theme, I use the color body. So it's a great Oh, sorry. So first is like a dark gray as a primary surface color for the components. Yeah, so if you want to use, so this is like a contrast if you use like a totally like black, and then the gray black, as you can see, on the right side is much better. And second, so I used the color body to build my color scheme. It's like great tool to test out the desired color scheme, as you can play with background color, like light, saturation. But I would say like for a text-rich map or text-rich content, those can only serve like a starting point. This is because a color scheme that looks great in samples or patterns don't always work when it applies to like a lot of text. Yeah. So, and also like one of the general rules I found, so if you're working on text, like a darker black background, you just like try to make your text lower in saturation to just don't feel like very eye-catching. I also added notation for some of the text, like for example, on the left, February 2nd, first sign on the Cotton Street Road. So this is where the Hong Kong marriage registry is right there. And on the right side, the Leighton Street. So it once like famous for wedding invitation printers, but like right now it was gentrified. So in the lyrics, it's said like this place once for fame for now, but right now like feels crowding. So this came my favorite part. I'll show like some of my favorite spatial stories embedded like within the lyrics. So first is this summer I went to Hong Kong to like reunion with my best friend, and we're like taking a photo on the Finland Road. And then this is the Gold Mark and then the Times Square are two commercial plaza. It's like a 3-4 walking distance, and in the lyrics it sounds. We parted in Gold Mark and then reunited outside the Times Square. So you can see like this, how they use location to describe this twisted, like entangled, like love affairs. And this lyrics about a couple on a date. Like they were chatting like so effortless that without realizing they end up like all the way in Stanley. So which is quite far from the downtown Hong Kong. So it just show like how long and engaging like their conversation was. And also like every time when I like sing this song, it recalled like my memories with my friends like waiting bus like in like near the University of Hong Kong to the place near the Stanley. It just like we wait for like 40 minutes and take like almost like 2 hours to get in there. Yeah, so like very resonated like when I like listened to songs. And also there's a lot of puns in lyrics. For example, like on Broadway Road. So Broadway Road in Chinese, it means happy living, a pun in the like joyful life. So in the song it says, on Broadway Road, the pair of lovers, they are like very weary, are drawn in their works. So some like takeaways. This is another example. I'll just, due to time limits, I will like skip this one. So some of my takeaways, when designing a map, just don't think about the content, think about the context. So for example, like starting with the larger map frame in size, if you're planning to print as a poster or show in person, and a small layout that looks fine on a laptop might be like feel cramped on the wall. And always plan for a distribution channel early. Like will this be printed, be projected, or like view on phone? Like this choice actually affect not only the dimension, but only like also your text size, like symbol density and color palette. And also don't be afraid to redo or resize the map if needed. Iterating on the format often makes the difference between a map that merely works or one that like really shines like in its final environment. So last NACIS, it was like truly inspiring. So on the left side is like Brittany's UV light map. So it reveals like hidden paths when you use a UV pointer over the surface. On the right map, it was a map that was exhibited in Tacoma Museum. So it explores place naming through language. So actually, you can, by looking through the color lens, like you can physically switch between English, Spanish, and indigenous place name view. So that reminds me of like how can I make my map more like interactive. So I start my fourth round of make a static interactive map. So I initially try to want to use the term like tangible, but I search like the tangible, it means the map is objective with physical properties and assessing without the need for technology. But mine is like with technology, so I will keep using the static interactive. Just let me know if you think of like a better jargon for this. So I came across this like a idea of like NFC music wall really like long time ago, and I think of like why not I make a NFC music map. So once I print out the final version, I started to tag those like NFC chips behind. So this is the back, if you see a lot of like different chips that tag with the places and the markers. And then this is the I let my boyfriend like try, and also I bring that to the UW color group, like let them like to try to see the marker, to see the NFC chip if it works. Yeah, and it went out pretty well. So throughout like a whole like map making process, I start to rethinking the static map mapping. So like if I don't tag like NFC chip, like if it's merely static, like people would like easily like access and direct you saw on a web version, right? So what is the point? What is the meaning if I made a static map? So, and also like speaking of the digital area, like speaking of the thematic map, for me, like I have like intro Carto for static map, and we switch to interactive map for higher level Carto courses. So I often default to think interactive map is better because like they're flexible, like user can explore their own and zoom in, zoom out, and toggle layers, whatever. But like throughout the process, I realized that flexibility actually comes at a cost. So working on the interactive map made me feel like I'm not longer like a cartographer. I'm more a UI UX designer. It's all about like zooming, filtering. But when I switched to building the static version, I feel like myself more a cartographer because like the content abstraction matters. It design like what to choose, what to include, what to leave out. That is the essence of static mapping. So, because like you only have like one scale, you only have like one frame, one chance to guide the reader. So every design decision has to carry weight. On the contrast, interactive map can like defer those complexity that's info-rich information to users. You don't have to resolve like hierarchy or scales, the complexity compared to the static one, because user can just like zoom or click. So that's why I believe like static map matters much more a lot compared to what we taught from class, as they embody like the discipline of cartography thinking that interactive cartography can't like 100% bring to us. Like the scale, simplification, visual hierarchy, structures, these are all the fundamentals like what shapes a cartographer thinkings. Yeah. So these two maps are in the map gallery. If you're interested, you can always help to just feel free to try and scan. And I also like try to make the English translation like more like rim poetic. Those also like translate by myself with the help of ChatGPT, and also like try to follow the original meaning. So you are also very welcome to go through the lyrics as like each lyrics is embedded a story like in the static one. Thank you so much.